everyone. My name is Puraskar Thadani. I'm the editor for Elite Magazine India. Today, we're shooting for Elite 40 Under 40, talking to 40 amazing entrepreneurs about their journey and how they started their companies. We have Supriya Paul with us today, the co-founder of Joe Stocks. Hi, Supriya. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
You've done amazingly well. I think you've been inspiring people through Joe Stock itself, and you itself are an inspiration to many people out there. How did the whole concept of Joe Stock start?
Yeah, so we actually started Josh when I was in college, and I was in my final year. But a brief background on who I am. So I was a super academically inclined kid, and my goal in life was to get into SRCC, which is a Delhi University college, my dad's alumni. So I spent 18 years of my life just studying to get that 98% to get into SRCC. And that was my sole focus. I missed it by 0.25%. And I think after 18 years of hardcore education, it was the first time in my life that I actually started to think about my career differently. And at that time, I was super confused. I took admission in Venkateshwara College in Delhi University. But what was really interesting was that in my class of 250 kids, 246 were preparing for CA along with doing BCom honors. And that just baffled me. So I started talking to a lot of other people about their career decisions, who takes it for them, who are the role models that they look up to. And coincidentally, it was also at this time that I met my co-founder, Shobhit. And Shobhit came from a background where he dropped out of school to pursue cycling full time. He cycled for the Indian team. And his belief in education was very different from mine. But I think what was really common amongst us was this frustration that young people have so much potential, but if they could have been given better direction, there would be a path to unlock that potential. And Josh, as the name suggests, the idea was that how do you instill in people the energy to get up and do something with their life? And that's how we kind of created the platform, and it's evolved since then.
That's very inspiring. I mean, that's amazing to see. It's a very noble idea and a very good idea as well. And I think you had so many amazing entrepreneurs, artists. You had a lot of people give these amazing Josh talks.
Yeah.
And I remember I've been to Ola many times where we've seen your talks happening.
Yeah.
It actually inspires you, even if you're not in the mood to listen to something like that. But once you start listening even about two words from these people, you go like, okay, fine, I want to hear more. So I remember you did something with Anurag Kashyap. I remember seeing that conversation where I was riding in Mumbai and Ola.
Yeah.
And it was such a my ride had ended. I was like, listen, let me sit here for 2 minutes more. Let me listen to the whole conversation. It was so inspiring. So that's really good. But was it by any chance inspired by TED Talks as well, or?
So I think as the format, yes, right? Like we were trying to figure out that, okay, how can we create these role models for people, and role models for people who are not just from, say, tier 1 India, but from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 India, people who don't speak in English. Like, how can we create relatable role models for them? And we saw that TED as a platform works from a format point of view, right? The one person standing on stage on that red circle with the black background, with the lighting in a certain way, it just makes the speaker really vulnerable to share. And I think that's something that we 100% took inspiration from. We didn't reinvent that. And we said, we started creating talks in a similar format. But then we kind of moved beyond the philosophy of just talking about ideas, but going into real stories. So even like though Anurag is a really good example of a Josh Talks, the kind of content that people are now watching on the platform is very different. So
I've seen that. I saw a very nice mixologist there, Ankur. I saw his because I know him well with Elite Nightlife Awards. We work with a lot of chefs, and again, it's very interesting. People are choosing different forms of careers now.
Yeah.
Mixologists they're doing really well. The food industry is doing well.
Yeah.
You can actually become anything today. India is such a it's diverse country now. You can actually pick up any field and be successful in that.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're inspiring people to do. They need to let go of those norms that okay, fine, it's only need to go to a doctor or an engineer. If you want to become something, you can. And with Elite 40 Under 40 also, we're trying to inspire that into people. You need to dream first and then just seize the opportunity. Go and get it. Don't worry about it. So that's wonderful. Even in now leaving that, I want to come to your as a business model. You are doing amazingly well for Josh Talks. What is the trajectory right now that you're expecting for Josh right now? What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to make it into a proper educational format? Are you trying? What is the revenue stream that you're looking at?
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Got it. So we started with Josh Talks, and the goal really wasn't to become a media platform or an education company or anything like that, right? There is this phenomenon that works in small town India. We call it the Bade Bhaiya phenomenon. That anybody who gets out from a small town and comes into a city and does well, they always attribute their success to an elder brother or a Bade Bhaiya. We want to create Josh as a digital Bade Bhaiya. So we started with Talks, which is the role that a father or an elder brother will play, who will inspire you and shake you up. We are now working on the hand holding bit, which is Josh Skills, our own e-learning app, where people can learn essential skills like spoken English, personality development, financial literacy, digital literacy that can help them get better jobs. And now we're also working on a job matching platform. So the idea is right from the time a person turns 13 or 14 till the time that a person is 29 and settled in their job, how can we create an ecosystem of tools and products that can help them? So even in terms of revenue, Talks is we run it like a media business. There's sponsored content, there's monetization through ads, YouTube AdSense, etc. But for skills, it's completely B2C led. So people come onto the platform and they purchase a particular course, and then once we match them with a job, we have an attached fee for placement. So we're trying to create that as a model now.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Has COVID played an important role for you as well? I mean, I believe a lot of education online has really picked up quite extensively.
Yeah.
So how has been COVID time been? Do you see an uptrend in this industry right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for online education, COVID has been instrumental in people accepting online education, right? And like we talk to people from smaller towns and cities. So for them to be able to learn from an app was something that they would have never digested. But COVID has just accelerated that, right? So now you're sitting at home and you're learning English on the app. You're talking to other people in English. We would have never imagined a world where that would happen. So for Talks, it was the geo revolution that helped us when we, went from Hindi and English to Marathi, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu. And now for skills, it's actually COVID that has enabled us to reach more people and for them to accept the product.
And you have courses in all these languages?
Yeah, so we're building courses in the other languages. Right now, we have them in Hindi and Marathi.
Okay. But Talks you have in multiple languages,
yeah, we have them in 10 languages.
Wow. So you 10 different languages. That's very inspirational, because that's what Region of the Masses is all about. India is a diverse country. People
Absolutely.
need to, and wow, it's really amazing to see what you're doing. Thank you, Supriya, for coming. It's amazing to have you as part of our Elite 40 Under 40. We love hearing such stories, such inspirational stories. And what you're doing with youngsters out there, for youngsters, is really amazing. We wish you the best of luck. Keep growing. We wish Josh Talk to reach everybody. And education is a must for India. So yes, please help India on that account as well. So yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is Puraskar Thadani from Elite Magazine India, signing off for Elite 40 Under 40.